What is up, YouTube land? 1/3 of three dudes in a record store who's kind of whittled down to one dude inside the man cave. I, your humble host, Greg Horn, the Skip Bayless, music, television, rock and roll hoochie coo, as they used to say. I'm kind of in my kitchen, I figured I'd do it here rather than on the couch or wherever I am, and try to filter out some content for you guys. Goofy little review show I'll do as much as possible when I'm in the mood. Behind me, that's 1/3 of my physical CD collection. This is kind of the metal, hard rock kind of stuff. I got another one over there you'll probably never see. That's the 80s, 90s, some punk, some 70s, and then I got a whole nother one with hip hop and jazz and my Grateful Dead collection and my extensive Frank Zappa collection and all these crazy things. This part, if I can see my hand pointing to, this right here is the beginning of my whole entire shelf of horror films, which I'll be diving into at some point on this channel. I'm an avid, huge lover of horror cinema. Have been since I was a little kid. Big time into it. I've really started to kind of super try to get that older Italian stuff that I could never really find as a kid, other than going to like the video store and the record store and finding cool like Fangoria magazine and all that cool stuff I used to be in as a kid. I started that right here. It's getting bigger than that shelf, so I'm kind of honing down and whittling some of the other collections to further expand what the important stuff is. I think right here you can actually see my finger. That should be Cannibal Holocaust. That's my favorite horror film of all time. Not that that matters for this. What I thought I'd do is I'd say hi. Coming in at you, try to get a little love your way, a little content. If you are anything like I am and you watch these videos where people kind of give you reviews and break things down and they sit in front of their collections, you spend an enormous amount of time trying to figure out what all of that stuff is. I don't know. It's behind my head. It's kind of opposite. I think that is my Dream Theater collection. Sabbath and Slayer and Metallica and Dio and Ozzy and a lot of the Bay Area stuff is here. And that would be our segue, our sequitur, if you will, into reviews. I don't put as much deep dive hours of research on these reviews as I do when we're doing the show, which I love and miss, and hope that you love and miss. And if you love and miss, share this with all your friends and get them to like all our other videos and subscribe to the channel. But what I do is I try to grab a few things from my collection and get you into maybe something that you would like. Maybe we're kind of in the same realm. My first thing for today, as I grab it up off my floor, Heavy Metal Movies by Mike McBeardo Patton, I think is his name. Bazillion Points. Both of my books today are going to come from the same publisher. They publish kind of neat stuff. Really, really awesome stuff. This guy is phenomenal. If you're on the Twitter, I'm not, but I used to be. This guy is really on the Twitter a lot, and he's very interactive with his fans and people that read his stuff. This is a lovingly crafted, immense tome of movies that have like metal and music and that kind of stuff as their focal point. It's just an amazingly crafted book, and in each you can kind of see each separate film, has a write-up. It's in alphabetical order. It's amazing. When I was on Twitter, I begged him to do a volume 2 because there's stuff that even he missed in here. But some of what we did for our episode on music movies, I used this as a encyclopedia for some of those things. He wrote another book called Teenage Movie Hell, I believe, and it's all about like teen sex comedies. Hilarious book. Pick that up too. But grab this, and if you're on the Twitter, give him a follow, give him a shout out. He's an awesome guy, super knowledgeable. You can tell that he really loves this stuff. He really, even if he doesn't like the movie, he'll pick out something he digs about it. Or it's almost like I would have wrote this book. I wish I would have wrote this book, but I didn't. Same distributor, but Bazillion Points. They do a lot of different stuff. I believe this just got made into a full-length documentary. So I'm really hoping that gets a Blu-ray release because you don't want to get into why I don't like DVDs, and I really rarely ever buy a DVD unless it has no Blu-ray release and I can't get my hands on it and it's super out of print, and I just don't like they're big and clunky and the transfer's not as good. But I mean, we could talk in depth. I won't. As you know, the three dudes are phenomenally huge into the Bay Area thrash scene. Growing up in Humboldt, which is, a stone's throw from that region, it was really fun to have family that lived down there where I could go down there and I could kind of experience all this stuff. Boots on the ground, front lines of it all. And there was a book written called Murder in the Front Row. This is, if you are a music fan, if you're a thrash metal fan, if you're a Bay Area thrash fan, you have to own this. If you like to collect books and like books about music, this isn't your typical, hey, let's write our autobiography. It's sex, drugs, rock and roll. Half of the stories you're like, yeah, I know you're famous, but I'm not sure I believe that you banged a nurse while you were after a car wreck or whatever the crazy stories are. They're fun to read, but some of them you don't quite pay into. That is not this book. This book is a start to never finishing telling of the entire thrash scene. The writer, one of them, Ron Quintana, has a big time, Gary Holt, and there's some other notable humans that were in the making of this book, and a lot of the pictures were taken by a guy who was playing bass for DRI right now, whose name escapes me, even though I have the book in my hand. But you can see it is chalk photographs. I think my internet just grabbed out. My internet here is terrible, so if I go in and out, don't worry about it. These aren't like, oh, hey, we did take some stuff from the stage, but a lot of the stuff is candid stuff too, which is what I love about the Cliff Amal video. This is one of the you could probably get into an argument of what is the greatest music book ever written about anything. Damn the Green. This is in the discussion. I don't know what you would rank it. I'm pretty close to ranking it at the top. I paid full price for this when it first came out. I rarely do that, if ever. I try to find things on the cheaps and try to get my money's worth. Every penny you'll ever pay for this book is worth it tenfold. This is an amazing, amazing book, and it never gets old. You keep going back to it. You keep reaching out and grabbing it. You keep doing everything. So look for it. Go find it. I'll try to get B to put copies in the shop when we can get back and get working at it. I'm still writing down topics all the time of stuff I want to cover, and when we can get out and get rocking again. Get used to it. Probably every time I do one of these videos, I'm going to do it from here. It just looks better than me sitting on my stupid couch. All right. I love you guys. I miss you guys. Long live physical media. Get out. Get walking. Cover your mouths. Do all this stuff. Let's beat this thing. And get back to rocking a free world. Love you guys.